Yo,
Yo,
what's
yo, 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 yo.
up?
Can you hear me well? Is it good?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. Let me make sure I got it all centered. All right.
I like that light in the back there. What is that?
Which one? Oh, this is my donut light. Me and my wife were doing a podcast, and then I got busy, and then she got busy, so we gotta we gotta get back to it.
Nice, nice, nice. So the donut's part of your podcast with your wife?
Yeah, yeah. It was just a fun little thing that I saw, and I was like, I want that, and you put it on the back.
It looks like the Odd Future donut.
Yeah, yeah. It's also just a cool little donut. We got it at Target.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I've talked to my wife about starting a podcast, but she's like, she talks a lot and like well, like it's entertaining, and I hear her like at work or like
Yeah. What
sitting
does she
watching.
do?
She works at a video game company.
Oh, okay.
She works at Activision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, video game journalism and just like that stuff is like, yeah, there's a huge, I mean, you see how big video games are. Like,
Mhm.
so to like talk about something like that, I don't know, are you a big video game guy?
I also work at a video game company, and that
Yeah.
all that shit is video games. Those are
Yeah,
all
yeah,
old
yeah.
Nintendo games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so that it's yeah, I would listen to it,
Yeah,
My wife's
I think
oh,
if we picked like a old game and then like played it and talked about like that specific game, that'd be cool.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, so there's so many different ways to do it.
what about your wife?
She's a psychologist, so we just talked about like psychology and stuff. And yeah, I'm an idiot, and she's like really smart. So I just try to make her laugh, but she'll like say stuff, and it's like you're like, oh shit, that's like some real shit. Okay.
Yeah, man, that's cool though. What's the name of the podcast?
Kissing in a milkshake.
Kissing in a Milkshake.
Yeah, yeah,
What's that about? I like that
yeah.
name.
We were both in the car listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers, and she was singing the song. It was a song where it was like ooh da 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 da, and then she would always say "kissing at a milkshake," and I would always say it, and then it just kind of became like a thing. We like anytime that song we can't like it was clearly not the lyrics, but it was
Right,
just like a
right.
funny thing. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
yeah, yeah,
awesome. I like that. So
yeah.
let me give you a proper introduction to everybody that's listening. We're both stoned. So
Oh man, I'm fucking wrecked right now, dude.
so what's up, everybody? I'm here with stand-up comedian Frank Castillo,
Mhm.
Comedy Central roast battle winner, right? Am I
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, first of all, how'd you get into comedy in general? Like, what made you start wanting to do like roasts?
Well, so like comedy in general was like I think it was like 21 when I like started doing open mics, but like I've always loved comedy. Like comedy was always like around when I was a kid. Like my dad loved like Howard Stern and like loved Dave Attell. I'd always watch Comedy Central, loved Dave Chappelle show and all that jazz. But it was like I think there's like a definitely a big moment from finding comedy and then realizing like, oh, I want to do this. And I think for me that moment was when I was like 21 that I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna go do this. 'Cause I saw my friend doing open mic and we were on like an improv team together. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go too. And then yeah, and the roasting thing happened because it was like I was trying to get in at the store because I sucked whenever I'd go up at the potluck. I would do okay. You know what I mean? I wasn't like my comedy then was nowhere near how I was when I was roasting. Like it was just the writing was just too different, like very different. And so I would do that to try to get in at the store, and then that's how I got noticed around the store was roasting and doing roast battle. And then I would get up on the open mics, and then people would pay attention a little more. And then I got better at that, and then they offered me the job to work there as a door guy.
Okay, okay,
And
nice.
that took like a year and a half to get hired. Yeah, about a year and a half to get hired at the store.
That's it sounds like a long time, but it's not. When you want something that bad, like when it's something that you love and you're passionate about, you got to put in work. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was the thing is when people would ask like how do you get hired at the store like what how do you become a door guy, they would tell you like it takes like a year and a half, it's a process. and
ZipRecruiter.
pe- yeah, and then you know people like see that and they're like, ugh, I don't want that, and then they'll just like go do something else, and then it's like that is another path. But it's just so funny to see the people that are like, oh, I don't want to work for that, and then maybe not get in, but if you get in it's like but also like becoming a door guy isn't the end all be all. It's just another path. You could still get passed to friends and family, which
Sure.
means you get like development spots, and then like you're getting all the same stuff the door guys are getting, but just the door guys get a little bit more.
Right, right. But maybe it's not for them. I mean, it's everybody's got a different thing. I think. I wanted to be a chef forever
Yeah.
because I love cooking at home. And then someone told me you need to do like 10 years of a sous chef before you're even considered to be a head chef or anything like that. I'm like, oh, no, no.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I don't love cooking that much. Fuck
yeah, yeah.
that
Me,
shit.
yeah, yeah. Me and my wife will just do a YouTube podcast where we cook stuff together.
Get high and make shit with whatever's left in the kitchen. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was Epic Mealtime. Was that not it? I
Pretty much. Yeah,
forget.
yeah.
That's cool though, man. I mean, were you always an LA guy? Like,
I was born in the Bay Area. I'm from San Jose originally. That's
okay.
where like most of my family's from. But then my grandmother and my dad's originally from Los Angeles, so they moved to San Jose, and then my dad grew up there like later in his life, and then or he moved there when he was like I think like 5 or 6, and then that's where he met my mom and all that jazz, and that's where I was born. And then I moved back to Los Angeles, so I still have some family out here.
Okay.
Like, but it's very funny to come back to the place where like my family's originally from.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean now it's one of those times that everybody's kind of iffy on LA. Like half the people I talk to are like, "Fuck LA, I'm leaving," and then the other half are like, "You can fuck right off. I'm staying right here." Like, wait,
Yeah,
I'm on that half.
it's also so funny too because it's like I mean you're Mexican obviously, right?
No,
Oh, what are you
I
Peruvian?
look Mexican, but no,
Yeah.
I'm Cuban.
Oh, you're Cuban. Okay, so
Yeah,
you're a Latin country. Is that a
Latino.
Latin? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, man, you know what I mean? You're one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mexican if the situation calls for it.
Yeah, when the Civil War starts, they're gonna be like, "That's a
Yeah,
Mexican." And you're just
yeah.
like, "Oh no, 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 no. Cuban
I
me."
actually got yelled at. Somebody yelled at me in Hermosa Beach, dude. No, wait. Which is the one with the really rich Manhattan Beach?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
really rich Republicans out here in the coast. And dude, I was selling beer walking down the street and somebody rolled their window like, "Go back to Mexico, you fuck." I'm like,
it is hysterical. You're like Cuba.
"Cuba, dude.
Uh, yeah,
We got
yeah.
cigars."
Yeah, you love our cigars. It's so funny. I
Yeah.
totally forgot the point I was making with
Yeah.
this. What were we saying before?
LA,
Oh yeah,
Latinos. Yeah.
so Los Angeles is where it's very like I mean I feel like the Latino community's been to Los Angeles forever, so it's
Mhm.
very much to see the people that are leaving are usually people who are transplants anyways,
Right.
or like are not from LA proper. So
Yeah.
it's just very because like most of the families that have like are poor and stuff, they're like, well, we can't afford to leave. Like we're always gonna be like Los Angeles is always our home.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I'm from a bunch. I mean, I was born in Jersey, and that's because my parents escaped Cuba through Spain, and then from Spain to New York. That was like the route, I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then they, I was there till I was like 14 or 15, and my father got arrested, uh, negocios.
yeah, yeah,
So he got arrested. We fled to Miami, and then I spent like 20 years in Miami, way too long, in Miami.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got there and the plan was just finish high school and then we'll either go back to Jersey or go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah,
And then when the time came that my parents were like, well, we're going back to, well, my mom, because my dad was in jail, they were like, we're going back to New Jersey. I'm like, bye. Like,
yeah,
I got a girlfriend, I got friends, I got a
yeah,
life.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm in a band. What do you want me to leave the band? Like,
yeah, yeah,
so it was that for 20 fucking years, and now I've been here now for I think 4 or 5 years, and I've
yeah.
just been just kind of dedicating my life to the comedy store in a little bit of a way. Like I've been going out there and just hanging out with the community, but I have like I don't want to be a stand-up. I mean, I might.
Yeah,
I'd like to try it, but
yeah,
it's just one of those. I'm not there for that. Like that's one thing I noticed. That a lot of the people that chill at the comedy store, they're there for gain. You know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, I used to work the door for many amount of years, and I
Mhm.
could definitely tell you I've seen so much of that.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of very famous like moment. I think it was like Dov Davidoff was looking out in the window, and he was like, he goes, half of these people aren't even doing stand up, but they think they are, and I was like, yeah, man. But in the
Yeah.
other. you know, the other side of that is like the most work I've ever gotten was chilling and work and hanging out at the store on the patio. But that's because you've established yourself already, and like that is what the store is there. It's like if you are, a good comic and all that is, it's you mingle, you talk to these comics, they work with you, and then you go to the next level. But it's like you have to earn the right to get to that place.
Sure.
Like there's nothing wrong with hanging out at the store. Like what I was told when I was first going there was like Doc Willis used to work a lot, very cool dude. He was like, "This isn't the place where you hang out from open to close." He's like, "It's a bad look. You're not doing anything." He goes, "Go hit your spots, go do your shit, come hang out late at night.
Hmm.
That's how you close the night out." He was like, "And you're watching the comics do the shit." He goes, "If you don't have any spots, come watch the show." You know what I mean? He's like,
Hmm.
"But you're here every night, spending $60 at the bar. You know what I mean? Like you're you're not doing anything.
Right.
Before you know it, it's 10 years and you've still just been hanging out at the bar. You haven't gotten anywhere. You're not under anyone's eye. No one's trying to give you spot. You know what I mean? You're just the guy that's been like, yeah, I'm doing stand up, and it's like, not really.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but
It's half-assed, you know.
yeah, yeah. But like being a person there that's like, I want to hang out and be a part of the scene and like not be a comic, but just like, that's great. You know what I mean? Because you're a fan of comedy. You wanna be there and witness the greatest moments and see something like, yo, I watched this person develop this set. I watched him when he was working on this, like before it became the Netflix special. Those
Yeah.
people are fine. It's like, yeah, those are the people that we need around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of fall into that. I mean, I got my own thing going on, but I usually end up bringing people. Like I have a lot more connections in the music world.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I'll just end up showing up with like, oh, I like Tony. That's how I kind of met Tony, where it was I showed up with a bunch of rock stars to the comedy store,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, "Come on in," and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I heard him like, "Oh, I like 311." I'm like, I know that guy. I'll bring him out. And
Yeah, yeah.
it just became that kind of. I'm just gonna hang out here with people. It's a cool place. It's I've always also been a huge fan of comedy since I was a kid. My dad
Yeah.
was George Carlin, and
Yeah.
you're kind of Latino, so Mexican, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we
Well,
have we
people
have
mistake it for me because I don't speak Spanish, so they're like, "You're mixed, right?" And I'm like, "I no, I'm just irresponsible."
irresponsible. Well, my wife's last name is Gonzalez, and she
Uh huh.
doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but there's an old Cuban stand-up or Alvarez Jerez. I don't know if you ever
Oh
heard of
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
It's all in Spanish, so you probably haven't
No,
heard it. But
yeah,
man, that dude was a fucking. I mean, you look back at it as an adult, me now, at my age, and it seems a little cheesy. But back then, it was like, whoa,
yeah. It's
you know?
also a different the culture there. That's the thing is like I don't understand it, but with like how much I love comedy and stuff, like I can still like analyze it. Like when I watch it, I understand why it's funny, and then you start to see what makes them tick culturally, and also like their taboos, the things that they don't like to joke about, the things that like you can't even say, and so it's very interesting to see like where their lines are drawn, but also like how they do humor. It is we would think it's cheesy, but it's also like they're very they love to be entertained. You know what I mean? They want that fucking high energy character kind of deal. They love that. Same thing with like watching the stuff that my grandparents loved. I was always just like, oh, is that guy in a bee suit? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
love shit like that. Like there's like a 40-year-old man just dressed as a small child. Like you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? But they ate it up.
yeah,
But you start to see now, especially in like Mexico, the comedy there is starting to have a whole revolution. Like they're
yeah.
starting to open up comedy clubs everywhere. Well, before COVID, but they were starting to open up a bunch of clubs. And if you spoke Spanish and you did stand up, you could fucking make a killing out there.
Really interesting.
Yeah, a Mexican. When I won roast battle, a very very popular Mexican like YouTuber and comic guy. One of his people came and interviewed me, and they were like, "You don't speak Spanish?" I was like, "No," and they were like, "Man, you could be making so much money," and I was like,
Shit.
"Fuck."
And I mean, was it not ever spoken at home? Like your parents didn't talk
I
in Spanish?
I had two. So I had two different kinds of like my dad's side of the family was very like American Mexican. Like he was from Hayward and stuff. He was like, we only speak English kind of jazz. Um, my mom's side of the family was very traditional Mexican, where he was like, we only speak Spanish at the home and shit. And I was split between the houses a lot growing up. And yeah, it never stuck. I was just kind of like, this is hard. And then I just, and then I got yelled at it a lot. And it was funny too, because in mom's side of the family, like my grandfather definitely like did not like me. He looked down on me a little bit. He just thought, like there was
How
a,
dare you disrespect the language?
he just didn't understand. He was just like, "What the fuck? This is what I came to this country for? I got to fucking stare at this fucking idiot." You know what I mean? Like he didn't know what. He just thought it was just weird. It was so funny because one of his other sons was disabled. Like I can't remember. Like it was so fucked up too because like they're so traditional. I'd be like, "What's like? What was his disability? What's wrong with him?" Like, he's just kind of weird. Like they didn't. It was like it's kind of fucked up. Like they didn't have. Yeah, it wasn't like he's autistic. He's like on the spectrum. No, they're just like, he's fucking weird. Like it was just it's so disrespectful. But
Yeah.
they loved him, and his standing was a little bit higher than me because he spoke Spanish,
Oh,
so they could like communicate fully with them and stuff, and
yeah.
like but they would talk to me and they would just think I was like fucking an idiot, and
You're a
it
lost
was,
cause, man. You don't know
yeah,
the
yeah,
language. Fuck it.
bro, dude. And I remember he'd have to translate, and I'd be like, what'd they say? And like, oh, they don't like you.
Yeah.
That's what they said. They said they don't like you, and I'm like, what? Like he would just be a dick. It was so funny.
It's such a weird. It's weird, man. Because I grew up actually speaking Spanish,
Hmm.
and I was born in Jersey, but that was all they spoke in the house. So
Yeah.
then I had to learn English from watching like Police Academy movies.
Were you doing the sound effects too?
Yeah. Of course, I can't do them now, but that was it. And I grew up in this house. Like my grandfather was such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Everything he did was for the family, right?
Yeah.
It was always to support the family, make sure everybody's got money. Like he hustled. He was from Spain and came over to Jersey and started doing business and doing the numbers and anything to make money to support the family. It wasn't like he never lived that extravagant shit, like polo shirt and a fucking shitty car. That was his life. But you know, he was also incredibly racist and homophobic and
Yeah. Yeah.
all of that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, but abuelito? Like, you know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm like, no way, that's my grandpa. And then I
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
analyzing everything. I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's what my grandfather. One of them was the same way. He like didn't like black people, and he worked so hard because he wanted the white lifestyle. So he wanted to move into a white neighborhood, and he finally was able to like afford a house, and he did. And they were so upset that he moved into the neighborhood, and he just didn't understand it. He was like, "What are we talking about? I'm a hard worker. I don't like black people either. Like, why don't you guys accept me?" And it was just like, yeah.
yeah,
And that was like a thing that he had to like realize and stuff. And it was so fucking funny. I remember my aunt told me she remembers like getting yelled at on her lawn when she was watering it by like white neighbors,
oh
being
my
like, "You fucking wetbacks." She was like, "What the fuck?" Like, just it was crazy.
it's weird, man, and it's only getting. I mean, I think it's getting better, but it's also getting worse. I don't know if it's getting worse or we're just more exposed to it now. Like,
Um,
I don't know what's going on, but it's just weird.
yeah, I think it's like with social media the way everything is, it's just like a lot more. Everyone's got phones now. It's got a lot more apparent. Um,
We're
I
living
mean,
in the Truman Show for sure.
yeah,
Everybody's filming everything.
exactly. And I do feel like obviously the news is very on all sides is very like it's not like how it used to be where it was like Walter Cronkite was the guy you could have trusted journalism that like looked at it unbiased. Like news companies want to make money now, so it's like very scary on a lot of things. But then when real things do happen, it's kind of like we almost don't know how to react to it, or people are so strong feel so strongly about whatever like they find to fit their narrative, whether it be good or bad.
Mhm.
Like even looking at the right and the stuff that's going on with the Breonna Taylor stuff, it's so crazy to see like what they've been sold and what they full on hardly will not like deviate from what they believe in. And then also like, the left and stuff. And it's like, damn, this is fucking wild. But then if you read everything and make your own, not judgments,
Opinion?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But it's also with the stuff you find, it's like it's wild, man. It is definitely a war for your mind right now. I feel like,
Yeah.
which
And
is a crazy thing to say.
no, it is. It's a war for the mind, and I smoke a lot of weed, so I get into that uh, conspiracy theory
Oh,
thinking.
absolutely.
And I'm like, well, I think it's the phones that are just making people stupid enough to where like now they can just inject them with whatever rhetoric they need, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
whichever side it may be. Like
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
we need you to be this. We need more of this on this side so that it's a even match so you guys can fight.
You know, it's I never really believed in that. Like, I don't know. Like, it's only when I get super stoned that I'm like, I'm fucking, oh shit, maybe, yeah, like. But it was, back in the day, the government used to do crazy shit all the time, and we just learn about it now. You know what I mean? Like the Area 51 stuff, the fucking when they were testing fucking chlamydia on people, Gulf of Tonkin, fucking just ran. You look back at history, like there's a lot of stuff that the government did that we're just finding out now because of after a certain amount of years they're able to release the information to the public because they have to, and then you're just like, well, if the government used to run propaganda programs back in the day, what makes you think they wouldn't do it now with the crazy technology we have?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's like we also don't like. I get fooled by deep fakes. What makes you think that like our grandparents who see like a meme can't tell the difference, or
Oh
be like,
yeah,
oh yeah, you're right, yeah, yeah.
yeah. A grandma right now would not tell the difference in a deep fake. That's one of the I've told the story before, but like I've tried to like remember when my grandfather, when I showed him GPS, I'm like, hey, we're gonna go to the supermarket, and I put the GPS. He's like, what is that? I'm like, it tells me where to go. He's like, how? Satellites? He's like, who put them there? I don't know.
A
NASA, like
company, yeah, yeah,
government? I don't fucking know what. But how does that work? There's no wires. I'm like, so to me, the fact that we have wireless technology everywhere, like, of course that's affecting us. Are you kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah,
I have the new Christopher Nolan movie flying through my skull right now. It's just
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Whenever I decide that I'm like, I'm gonna put it on, then I watch it. Like that, it's
Yeah,
nuts
yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely crazy, and that's also the other. Listen, I think we should kill anyone over 60. No, I'm. You know what I mean? Like they can't
Yeah.
figure out email. No, but that is also a very scary thing. Is like there. You think about the moment where there was definitely a moment in time when there was a group of people who were like, I've never seen electricity, and then now there's a group of people who are like, I've only known what electricity's like.
My
So
life
that
is over if there's a blackout.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Or like, just imagine the guy the first time that like, the light bulb was shopped around at like festivals. You know what I mean? Like, look at electricity, and then
Yeah.
they're like, oh my god, like,
I want that.
oh shit, like, and now like technology is only getting faster and better and blah blah blah. So it's like we're gonna have a lot of those fucking holy shit electricity moments, but just at a quicker pace. Yeah.
I think the Neuralink is the next one. I was looking into that, and holy fucking shit. Like
That is some fucking yeah. It's gonna be I don't know, man. Like I remember when the way fucking they were talking about Bill Gates's house. I was reading an article about Bill Gates's house where it was like it was years ago where he was like he'd walk into a room and it'd play whatever music that was like he liked, and the music would follow him from room to room. And I remember thinking that, like, oh my god, that is insane. And it's like, well, we have that all now. We have
yep,
Alexa.
yep.
We have that. And it was just like, oh shit, like, you know, I don't have to be a millionaire to be that guy. I just have to wait like 10 years.
Yeah, just give it some time. Eventually, I think eventually, yeah, like it's going to be like any other thing. Like if you're into the newest iPhone, like everybody has to get in line. I need to have the day it comes out, and that's a whole group of people. But I still have like a Galaxy 8, and there's like
Yeah, yeah,
up to 20 now. Like I don't really
yeah,
care.
yeah. I'm not buying the new Xbox and new PlayStation first year. I'm waiting.
I have to only because it's work.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I get
But
it.
that's it. Like
Yeah,
otherwise,
yeah,
I probably wouldn't do that.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, like that. I have a little Google Home speaker in the kitchen now where I just yell at like, "Play Danger Zone," and it just
yeah.
starts playing. It just plays Danger Zone while I'm
Dude,
cooking.
my morning office is my favorite. I wake up, just get my shit set up, play some music, eat, do my thing, and then get to answering, fucking emails and doing shit. And it's just nice, man. It's having being able to just like it's very convenient.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll live in a fascist state if it means I could play music wherever I want to go. You know what I mean?
It's weird, man. It's weird to think about that shit because I have friends that are like that. Like, you're living in a fascist. How dare you? Like, you just don't care. You're not protesting. It's like, I'm
Listen,
trying to do things, man.
yeah,
Leave me alone. What are you
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about? No, but yeah, it's shit. It's weird, man. We're in a weird fucking time, especially for you, for comedians. Like, the not having a crowd sucks. I am not into the fucking streaming comedians. Like, nope.
yeah, yeah. That's the only. That's and it's like that was the time. That's when I definitely felt like weird, where it's like, oh, yeah, this is pretty scary. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't when I was watching them shoot tear gas canisters into crowds of people. I was like, you won't let me tell jokes in front of people?
I already
All
saw that.
right, all right, this is ridiculous.
I already saw that back in '92. Or
Yeah, yeah,
'91.
yeah.
We already saw that. What's next?
Once they pushed that old man, I was like,
Yeah, that was pretty rough. That was pretty rough.
let's hear both sides of the story
That was
first. You
pretty.
know
I
what I
saw
mean?
that video. I'm like, damn, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, man, holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's weird. I get a lot of different friends that give me shit too because Cubans are basically Africans and Spaniards. That's all it is.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm both sides of the fence. Like the Spaniards are all a bunch of. I'm not racist. I'm not saying that I'm racist. I'm not. That came out
I
very
mean,
wrong.
hilarious.
I'm not playing both sides of the fence. I'm just saying.
Ah,
I'm just saying it's like it's not. I'm not fully engaged in that culture. So when it started, I was just kind of like, oh man, good for them. I hope they get some justice. That's great. And then
yeah.
it just started getting progressively worse. And like just more news is happening, and then you have some people chiming in with like the fake news and no, that's conspiracies, and it's actually these people that are starting the riots and not those people, and they're actually people walking around with bricks. And I'm just, dude, I don't fuck. Like, what am I? It's
Yeah,
defeating. It makes you
yeah,
feel defeated.
yeah. It's scary, and that's where it's like, it's just we have Google, and then it's just doing the research, and then
Mhm.
it's just doing the research, but it's also like, you look at what's you have in front of you, and you try to think of like, I think empathy is the biggest thing right now, you
Mhm.
know. Because I remember when I was looking around all that stuff, and I was like, "Why are there just pallets of bricks everywhere?" And I was like, "Oh
Right.
yeah, this isn't good." You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely times where you look at stuff and you go, "Oh, this just isn't good." Like, this isn't good. I don't know what's happening, but it's not good. Like, this is
Yeah.
bad, and this, yeah. So it's
Yeah, I
crazy to
had that
see.
had that moment where I was sitting in the living room. It was the night of the riots. Actually, we were in Long Beach. I hadn't moved up here. Like now, I live up in LA, up closer to the store, which is beautiful because now I can be there
Yeah,
all the time and
yeah,
not.
yeah,
I used to leave the store at 1 in the morning, high as fuck. Like, oh shit, I got
yeah. That's the jam.
hour drive to Long Beach. Whoop.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
tough one.
yeah, but now, but we were in Long Beach when the riots happened, and dude, it was a point where we were just in the living room with the lights out, just staring out the window. I'm like, oh my god, because there was like we were on a heavy street in Long Beach too, so we saw people, there was glass breaking, people screaming, fucking gunshots and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? The hot topic that me and my wife used to go to was completely annihilated. Like we were watching videos, people running out with the register and the safe. I'm like, God damn!
All those Funko Pops.
All the Funko Pops, like these dudes running out with Marilyn Manson T-shirts. I'm like, what are you doing?
There's a bunch of white kids and shit, and you're just like, what the fuck?
What is
Yeah,
happening?
yeah, that was the thing that it was. My friend was telling me, he was like, in Oakland, a lot of dispensaries and the Bay Area, a lot of dispensaries got hit, and it wasn't like protesters doing it. It was all like organized people. It was like teams of like 20 people showing up. Were like using what was going on to like, and there's going to be people like that everywhere.
Yeah,
And it was just kind of like, that's the unfortunate part too, of everything that's going on, and just people like taking advantage of just a bad situation.
like my grandfather. I'm just
Yeah.
like I'm sure if my grandfather was around during this time, he'd be like trying to figure out how to make business like out of the whole situation. Like,
Yeah,
that's just
yeah,
and that's that hustle too. The Latino hustles, like we're here to work, and thankfully people like you and I are using that hustle for good and for like something like comedy, not for
hey, there's nothing wrong with selling Biden and anti-Biden and anti-Trump
yeah, in
T-shirts.
the corner. She's like, I got both. What do you? I'm like Spencer's Gifts. Which one do you need?
Yeah. You find out the two T-shirt places are actually owned by the same guy on either
Right,
side. Yeah, you're
right,
just like,
right. They're pals. They're
yeah.
communicating. Like, oh yeah, I need some more Trump face masks. And they're like, oh okay.
Yeah. That's the move. That's the move. There's a comic friend that I knew he was like, he talked about that. He was like, whoever's doing that's amazing, because it was like the next day they already had T-shirts up after something Trump said about Hillary, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I
fuck.
picture them there at like 2 in the morning, fucking screen printing all of them, like one by one, just fucking. Oh, Dolly, get them out.
Running to the graphic design, fucking just on
Yeah.
his computer. Yeah.
I always wonder that, like, who's handling the graphic design in that team.
Oh, it's definitely like definitely whoever. I mean, it's so easy to just throw something together. It's pretty fun. Also, those shirts aren't too crazy designed. You know,
That's true.
there's usually like an American flag, an eagle, Trump, and then just like "fuck you, Hillary," and then you're like, boom, you get a shirt.
So ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous, and I don't know what has to happen either. Like, what's gonna happen? I can't. What are we gonna do? Like, I just
I don't know,
keep
man.
hustling. I guess. I mean, that's really all I
I
can think of. Like, just keep grinding. I don't know.
I think it's and this is probably the cynical part of me, where it's this idea of like the older I get, the more that I realize where it's like politics definitely just feels like a game for us. You know what I mean? Where it's like it feels like no matter what, it's always just going to be shitty for everybody. So yeah, it's like you just got to keep hustling to the point where like hopefully you can make a change. Like unless you're like a lawyer or like an actual politician trying to do stuff legislatively, like yeah, there's not much. Like there's good groups that are trying to do work, and those are usually run by lawyers who are like like hey, here's the fucking bill we wrote. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But other than that, I think if you're doing anything else, it's kind of like
Well,
I don't know.
it
I
definitely
don't want
feels
to
like
get
a game. It definitely feels like a
yeah
game to me personally, and
yeah
it feels like a game that I don't want to play because
exactly
it feels like when you join like like a modern warfare game online, and
yeah
the team's already losing, and you're like, well, fuck.
yeah. I also don't want to get hit by a car. You know what I mean? Like this shit.
Yeah,
They just let like people just get hit by cars, and they're just like, well, shouldn't have been in the street. And it's like, well, fucking a, man. This
right.
is like,
That's
damn. Like if that's how we're gonna like fuck, man, then yeah, we are done.
yeah, and you see what's going on, and I mean, I guess we're done. Like and I'm not like giving up. I keep going until somebody breaks. It's kind of like that, like that. Like you have to just keep pushing until somebody breaks. I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. It's wild. Did you see that video of that Karen lady getting arrested for not having a mask at her son's football game?
No, there's so many of those. I haven't
It
seen
was
it.
it was like everything I wanted. It was she was just like she was like you are not arresting me, and they just started arresting her, and I was like, this is amazing.
Goodbye.
Oh, dude, it was amazing. And then like, what's great is like you could not agree with the mask stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like, of course, you know what I mean. And then I wear mine outside and stuff. But then it's like, how fun is it to see someone that's like, they've never had to follow the rules in their whole life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then you see them get checked, and it's like, this is like, I don't agree with this, but I agree with this. Yeah, like, and then you like just to see her just be like, you were not already. You're like, oh, this feels great because everyone just started clapping. They just loved it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's always a nice feeling. The comeuppance, because people, and the words they're like fucking buzzwords now. When you say privileged or entitled, like
yeah,
those are
yeah,
buzzwords now. Those are
yeah,
fucking. But it's true. That's what it is. And people that don't get it, they just don't get it. I have a lot of my buddies, my Cuban buddies, that lean a little bit more towards the right than the
yeah,
other Cubans, and then
yeah,
they're always like, oh well, I don't, it's not a problem to me. I'm like, well, then you live in a bubble.
yeah,
Congratulations,
yeah,
you should feel lucky. Instead of
yeah,
being angry and like you should be like, man, empathetic, like you said,
yeah,
empathy,
yeah,
super
yeah,
important. But nobody has that because that's the narrative. That's the
yeah.
narrative.
There was an article I read about how they think we're already so far gone because the biggest part about both sides is they think the other side's already like too far gone and isn't the worth saving. And it's like once you think that your enemies isn't worth saving, then it's like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, I mean, a few years back, it was kind of, you know, it seems to me like I've heard this conversation. Like somebody told me the other day that the sides flipped, and now that the left is so extreme and the right people are, I'm like, well, but do you not still see the problem that there's a left and a right? Like it,
It's the horseshoe.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
not gonna ever be balanced. It's not gonna be ever. There's never gonna be peace. No one's.
Yeah.
And people, oh yeah, Trump signed the thing, and now there's peace in the Middle East. Yeah, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. Like,
Yeah. And I think you're right. Comics more than ever needed to be up right now talking about it,
yeah, dude.
And it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm super grateful about some of the people that are still doing shit, like Tony. Like,
Yeah.
when you guys did kill Tony, I was like, oh my god. And yeah, the room is empty, but there's still enough people in there to where there was laughter and some
Yeah.
applause. You know what I mean? So
Well,
it's something.
yeah, this is all I've got, man. Like this
Yeah,
is like comedy, the podcast I'm doing, like this is all I've got now, and it's like I'm always gonna always just be doing stand up, and it's funny to see the people that stop doing it, and then it's also funny to see the people that stop doing it aren't hurting in any way, and you're just like, oh, then you should never like if you don't feel some kind of way about not doing stand up, then it's like your heart was never in it. This was just a hobby for you,
right.
because there's comics that I know that are just like it's driving me crazy, and it's like yeah, I get that.
Yeah, if you dedicate all your time, all your writing, like 8 hours a day, you're writing or working on your craft, like for no reason, it's got to suck, you know. And I feel the same way about musicians. Like there's so many bands that I know that are at home right now writing a new album. I'm writing a new album, and then the majority of their money comes from touring. So what are you writing that album for? Like,
Yeah,
like there's a lot of people just like I don't want to write. I'm out of
yeah,
it, you know. And
yeah.
but you if you keep the grind going, I think I think this is just from experience. If you keep the grind going, things will work out for you.
Hmm.
You give up, and you gave up. It's over.
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
over,
It's just
man.
yeah, it's just done. It's over.
Yeah.
What are you playing right now, video game wise, that you've been like really into?
Ooh, man, so I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 with the wife.
Is that online or is
Yeah,
that Oh, okay. My friend's been trying to get me into that.
very complicated. And
That's what he's
I'm
telling
not
me.
saying that you're stupid or anything. It's just that
It's
there's so much to do in that
that's
game.
what yeah. Someone was telling me it's very like the leveling system's very very intricate, kind of like Exile, Path of Exile.
Yeah, I'd say a little more because uh
Damn.
yeah, there's a lot of different like classes that you can be, and like your character can be all of them if you wanted to, but you have to obviously put the work in.
Yeah.
And then you have to coordinate with people online. Like there's things that you do with 24 people, and
Jeez.
everybody's got to do their part or you all die. And then it's like
Damn.
it's and it's hard to get groups, and there's a lot of people that they don't even play. They just show up and they start being racist just for the fuck of it. They'll start yelling shit or typing shit.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Like, Hail Hitler. I was like, Jesus Christ. I just want to play the game.
Yeah, yeah. It's like just be good at your job. You know what I mean?
Oh
No, I'm
my
just kidding.
God. But yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing Warzone, Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I
Uh,
play that a lot.
yeah, that's fun.
I just downloaded Wasteland 3. That's pretty fun.
Wasteland 3 seems cool. It's on Xbox, I think, the Game Pass thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet. I didn't like the first one, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't like the first one, and then like, but this one looks completely different. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looks a lot
The
easier, like nicer.
yeah, it's like it's turn-based Fallout. This Wasteland 2 was pretty good. I really like that. And then yeah, Wasteland 3 is like I'm really digging it now.
Are you stoked about anything that's coming?
I mean, I really Cyberpunk is probably the thing I'm most excited about.
Hell yeah.
There's it's every once in a while there's a few games where it's like, oh, I'll go buy a full new system. Like if I'm gonna jump to make the next gen jump, it's like there's a few games that I'll be like, I'll for this I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been holding off on a couple of the newer games that came out recently. Just I'm like, you know what? I'd rather play the better version that's going to be out because they already confirmed that that's going to be a thing. Like it's going to be an upgraded 4K version of the game, so I might as well just wait.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk's one of those. Last of Us 2, I'm waiting to play later in PS5, and the Ghost of Tsushima, which everybody was freaking out about, I'm holding off on that too. I'll play
Yeah,
that PS5.
I haven't played that one yet, and I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense to me. Like my friends are all freaking out. Like, oh, you got to play it right now. I'm like, nope. I could just wait, and it'll look cooler on my.
Yeah,
It'll be faster. I won't have to wait the loading times and all that shit.
yeah,
I don't know. I've been also. They just announced the Oculus Quest 2, and I've been wanting to get into VR, and it's not that expensive. $299.
yeah. I haven't been into the VR, and it's cool to see like seeing that take a little bit to finally get like a little cheaper and stuff, and then you're like, all right, dope. Because at first it was like to get into the VR at the beginning, it was so expensive.
Oh yeah, yeah. You needed a
Yeah,
good computer.
yeah,
The computer alone's a couple grand if you wanted a high-powered thing. But no, the Quest is like standalone. You don't even need a PC, so it's like just $299, and you could be on VR. And what appeals to me the most about that is not just the games. Like the games look cool, but they also give me a little bit of nausea. Like I've played it a couple times, and I'm just 30 minutes in. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
But the what appeals to me is the aspect of community that's been going on. Like I have friends that get into VR together. There's like 4 or 5 of them in a room, and they're watching a movie. And it's just
Oh,
like
okay.
they're hanging out. And it's people from different states that don't really, can't
Yeah,
see each
yeah.
other. So it's cool. That aspect of it, you just turn and there's somebody sitting next to you, and you're watching them, and you're like, "Oh, bro, check this out!" And you're like, it feels a little bit like reality, I guess. So that's interesting to me. And especially now where everybody's still locked down and there's like no foreseeable end. When the fuck is this gonna end?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So might as well jump on that technology. That for comedy also isn't terrible. I think what is it? Brian Redband's doing that, right?
Yeah, he's doing like
Comedy.
yeah. There's a few like virtual comedy clubs that are going on.
I don't hate that idea. Like watching an empty room is a bad idea, but being in an empty room with a bunch of people laughing and you can hear their laughter or something, like that's okay. I think I can tolerate that.
Yeah, that's just different, and it's nice. That seems like somewhere it's like, all right, I can adapt like this. Yeah, it's just having a Zoom is just so tough.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been doing this and I like it because it's a better product to present than just audio, I guess. But
it
still it's not the same.
doesn't beat being in front of a person. Yeah,
For sure, for sure, for
I
sure.
gotta smell you. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
gotta.
Also, there's the smoking element. Like you have your show, buddies, right? And you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
are always smoking and passing the joint. Like it's a social thing, and it's like a
yeah,
hangout, and
yeah,
and that's cool. I like
yeah.
that.
We've tested positive like twice, but still, it's a very fun. No, no,
Have you had
yeah,
anybody around you that has tested positive at all?
no, no one actually. Well, no, there's comics I've known that have tested positive, but I have yet to, you know, get it or
Knock
anything.
on wood.
And but I, and it's also those guys that the guys that I do the podcast with. They're all in the same house. They don't really ever leave.
Right. I'm sorry.
um,
Am I boring you? What
no,
the
I'm
fuck?
so fucking high, and it's like dude. Last night, man, I did the podcast with Mike Larson, who owns Summit Boys. So
Okay.
they make concentrates, bro. We probably smoked a few grams, and we smoked like 3/8 at least, and we just, dude, I was so high. I got home at like 8:20, 8:30, and I fucking just passed out. And then it was just like my wife was so concerned. She's like, "This is the highest I've ever seen you." She's like, "You weren't."
Ooh.
She's like, "You couldn't say words," and that's why I had to smoke a little bit more just to like kind of wake up. But you like when you text me, I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm still pretty fun." Like I woke up like still high. I was like, "Oh fuck."
Damn, dude. That's a
Yeah.
good one. I mean, so you guys doing dabs, like the concentrates? Like
So like what we do is so like the whole like what we try to do is we try to do stuff. No, we try to have like a fun podcast where we can invite like comics. We show them like good weed because like my boy JP is he's a buyer at a dispensary, Buds and Roses, and he's pretty young and he's very knowledgeable about weed. It's like his whole life he's been doing it, and he loves comedy, and I love weed, and I love comedy. So this is just one thing where you can both talk. And like when he talks about weed, you're like, oh shit, he knows what the fuck he's saying,
right.
and so it's we love sessions and we love like hanging at the store. You've been there. We smoke weed in the back. It's like we wanted to bring that vibe to just a podcast.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I like
Yeah.
the idea. I mean, I can't do dabs as much. There's also a show called the Dab Roast that's out. I think that I saw. That's pretty
I
interesting.
have
It's
never seen that, but that's hysterical.
Yeah, it's called Dab Roast, and I think it's kind of like Hot Ones, but with dabs. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I can't do dabs. I can smoke a lot of weed. I can smoke
yeah.
weed with you all day. We can just joints and whatever. Pack a bowl, pack a bong. That's fine. But when it comes to dabbing, I die. My body
Yeah,
just
yeah. Well, it also depends on what your take or how you take it and stuff. Like the guys that I've been going with, like JP, it's like there's different methods and like the cold start and stuff. So it's like making sure the nail's not too hot and stuff. I've also been fucking with like electronic dab rigs, which are a lot nicer and easier. Because once you like do it at the perfect temperature, that's when you start fucking with like flavors and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is different. Okay, I can really taste this. And then it really fucks your day up because you're just so high.
yeah, man. I've only dabbed, I think, once or twice, and the first time I did, I think I may have said this before on the show, but
Did you throw up?
no.
Oh,
So my buddy didn't really tell me what was going on. And yeah, I've definitely said this story before, but I'll say it quickly. He gives me the rig to smoke, and I didn't know what it was, and I thought it was just a bong, so I just fucking
Did you fucking? Oh, okay.
yeah, I just filled the chamber completely, and then and just I started immediately coughing uncontrollably, just and I couldn't. I am like, give me water! Like, what the fuck did you just do to me? And I sat down. I just started feeling like the vibrations, like just me fucking leaving my body behind. I'm like, oh well, fuck,
Yeah,
it's
boy.
over.
Yeah, I think it's called a ninja dab.
Ninja dab.
Yeah, it's where your friends give you an unspecified amount of fucking concentrates, and
Yeah,
you hit
that's
it,
what
and you're
happened.
like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's scary, dude. I can't see like I unless I know for a fact. I guess that's just me being old. I'm getting old, but I'm
Gotta
always like,
live a little, man.
yeah, I have that. I need to have the contingency plan. Like, I will dab with you if I know for sure that I'm getting home somehow.
Yeah.
You know, are you somebody is sober and is going to get me home or get me an Uber, whatever it may be. But make sure I get home because then I'll do whatever. You know, and that's the same thought process with like acid or whatever or
Yeah.
DMT. Like somebody wants to give me DMT, great, I'll do it. But let's make sure I know how I'm getting home because I don't want to just do it and then end up in like fucking San Francisco on foot with no shoes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's how that shit happens.
Yeah, DMT's fun. I've done mushrooms and just taking a walk. It's great. Yeah, shit like that's fun. I'll do a little bit. I can't do a lot.
Yeah.
Weed's the only thing where I could get blitzed out and I'll be like, all right, worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna spend $40 at Jack in the Box.
Right. Right. I freak out too. I get the little bit of paranoia with the cops too when I'm out. So, like if I get really high while I'm out, I'm always like, damn it, man. You know, there's a cop over there. I
I
see him.
love I love it. Whenever I'm stoned around cops, I'm just chill, dog. I just pretend like they're fucking trees. I just don't even pretend they're there. That was a weird analogy. Uh, yeah. I just don't even
Trees.
pretend they're. Yeah, I just was like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't bring any attention to yourself.
Dude, I got once in I was doing stage production and we went up to this place in Florida called Immokalee, which is part of a Indian reservation. And we finished it was like a rodeo show or some shit. We were there till 5 in the morning, fucking building a stage, running cables, fucking setting up lighting rigs and stuff. So afterwards, we were all sweating. It was a bunch of us, like 8 of us, 2 different cars, and we got to the cars and we're like, who wants to smoke? And there was different people from the 2 different cars, so we like switched. So there's a smoking car and a non-smoking car, and we're sitting in the smoking car shirtless because we're sweating from the work, again smoking blunts and shit. And I just hear in the window like, "Fuck, that's a cop, dude." He's like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Yep, eat the weed, eat the weed, eat the bag, whatever's left." My buddy Nick was sitting in the front, just opens the door, shirtless, and it's like 50 degrees outside.
Yeah.
He's shirtless, and there's just a ball of smoke comes out of the fucking car into the cop's face. The cop's like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?"
You know what we're doing, officer.
We're sorry. We just finished building the rodeo. We're really tired, and we were just hitting. We were getting a little high, and the guy like pulls everybody out of the car. One dude was being a dick. Everybody, put your hands on the car. Like fucking, that kind of
Yeah.
shit. But the other guy was kind of cool, and
Yeah.
I kept trying to talk to him, like do the Cuban shit, like, hey bro, come here, man. Like,
Yeah, hey, bro. Yeah, let's
I
talk
mean,
about
we're working, man. We're tired. We just built that thing for you guys. You're probably gonna be here tomorrow, right? Like,
hey, come on, bro. Hey, we're just
yeah.
getting yeah.
Yeah, and the guy's like, listen, if I find more weed in the car, you're going to jail. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so he goes in the car. I'm like talking to my buddies. I'm like, you took all the weed, right? You eat it? And my buddy's like, yeah, I ate it. The cop finds a bag of weed on him because he didn't eat it. Because he was like, I got to hold on a little bit for later tonight. I'm like, dude, you're about to go to jail. Like, what?
Yeah.
What
It was like, yeah, but there's a chance we could get let go, and then I'll have weed for after.
Right. I'm like,
Such a
all right,
stoner thought.
So I was like, all right, man. The cop doesn't find anything. Comes out, and then he finds that little baggie on my buddy, and he's like, "What? You said you didn't have any more." He's like, I didn't remember it was there." Cop opens the bag and sniffs it. He goes, "Don't bring this shit weed up here." And gives it back to my buddy. He's like, "I'm gonna follow you guys to the casino, and you're gonna park your car, and you're gonna hang out in the casino until you sober up." I was like, "Oh."
That's a cop that smoked weed.
Oh, thank
That's a
God.
cop that used to smoke weed.
He understands, thank God. This is
Yeah.
before it was more, it's now a little bit more acceptable. There's, it's legal in certain states and everything. But dude, I remember
Back
that.
then, they were like, yeah, they were trying to make that money.
Yeah. I remember the missions to get weed, man. Like when I moved out to LA and I went into a dispensary in LA for the first time and there was a guy giving out samples. Like, what the
The
fuck?
good old days.
I remember having to drive to some sketchy ass neighborhood and hang out in some house with dogs barking and fucking dirty everywhere. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to die here today.
Like, I hope this weed's good.
I'm here to die for weed, man.
Yeah, and it's always in a Ziploc bag. Someone's mom's yelling at him for fucking using all the Ziploc bags.
I mean, I in Florida, the hood areas where I would buy weed, it was pretty hood. Like there's 7 or 8 people in there that
Yeah.
they don't all live there.
Yeah.
Like, and then dogs in chain, like chained up inside, like just "Arr, arr." I'm like, Jesus, this is how you live? Like,
Yeah. This is how I sell weed.
this is how I sell weed, man. I got a mansion that I go to later. But dude, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we need to do, but keep grinding. And I hope that you can keep grinding with stand up comedy. I know there's more things happening. I know like Orange County's opened up a little
Yeah.
bit,
The
right?
store's back now. They're doing
Live shows
comedy.
outside, right?
Well, they're gonna be doing comedy in the window, and then eventually they're gonna be doing live shows outside.
Okay. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, Tony was saying they're gonna maybe move Kill Tony outside next week or some shit like that. So that's exciting. You know, hopefully we don't get a second lockdown. Because then I don't know what we're gonna do if there's another fucking lockdown. Because if they're trying to build something and we keep tearing it down, then it's what do we do? Move? I don't want to move.
Yeah, I don't want to move.
I don't want to move. I see the opportunity. I see that. Yeah, with people like Rogan and Joey Diaz, like Joey hurt because that's my boy. And
Yeah.
when Joey left, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, there's no good weed, and it's like, yeah. After I saw that, I was like, damn, it's fucking, it really, yeah. And I think Christina Pazitsky and Segura are thinking about, or just got a place in Texas too.
Really, they're out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this thing is like, I don't like. It's only a plane flight. You know what I mean?
True. Especially when you got that kind of money. That's
those guys. Yeah, those guys that caliber. It's just a flight. You know what I mean? It makes more sense for them to be. I think this is just going to be the next generation. Like, this is just the next move up. This is this is an asteroid hitting the Earth, and
Yeah.
everyone's moving to Texas that can, and then everyone that wants to stick around is going to make something happen. Yeah.
That's what I've been telling people. Like, yeah, go ahead and leave. That's fine. You're leaving an opening for me. That's it. And then I don't know specifically what opening it is or what it is, but I'm gonna just keep hanging out, making shit happen because there's always gonna be a hunger for more. I think there's always a hunger for more comedy. There's always a hunger for more entertainment, more things happening, more shows. That's never gonna really go away. It's in fact this whole pandemic's only shown that more people are at home watching and wanting content. So
absolutely. I mean, it was so funny. I was posting these clips for the podcast, and like my friend was like, "You don't think you post too many clips?" And I was just like, "No, man. It's like, we're posting two clips an episode." And I was like, "I think we're not posting enough." And I told that to someone else who does like YouTube stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, you're not posting enough." And I was like, "Damn, see?"
Yep.
And it was just like very funny. And I was like,
everybody's attention span is a lot smaller on the social media shit. So they're always looking for that scroll. You know what I mean? Like, oh, clip. Oh, okay, a clip. And then like if you have another one, like, oh, another clip. Okay, and then just keep going. If you do like the 5.5 hour Rogan thing, you might not. I mean, he's got fans, but I'm just saying, like, I can't sit there for 5.5 hours. Like, I'm gonna break it down into episodes for myself.
Exactly. Yeah. If I can't sit and watch myself for an hour and a half, why should you guys?
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible, but
yeah, we try to do ours for about an hour minimum, but then sometimes it's like you just session with people and then it starts to stretch. But there's definitely times near the end where it's like we're really high.
We should probably stop now.
Yeah, we should stop. Yeah.
Well, dude.
Oh, kitty. Sorry, my cat just here. Come here, cat.
Oh, kitty cat. You're a cat person, not a dog person?
No, I am a dog person. My wife just won't let us have a dog, so we got.
I can't have cats, man. I'm allergic, and I got it confirmed.
I
went to the doctor and did an allergy test, and it came back like, nope, no kitties. Like,
I want a dog so bad.
Yeah, we're going actually after this. My wife and I are leaving at 1:30 to go get a dog.
Oh my God, where are you going to, like a pound or?
Lancaster. It's a shelter.
Oh,
And
okay.
and the thing is, dude, the process right now to get an animal, if you wanted to adopt an animal in LA because of the shutdown, you can't go to the shelter and just go look and go, give me that one. Like you have to go to the website and they update the website. And when you find one that you like, you have to then grab all the information and email them the information. Like, I want to talk to this dog. I want to see this dog. And
Yeah,
then they don't really respond, or they'll respond with like, sorry, there's 4 people ahead of you. It's like, okay, like fuck, So we've been doing that for like a month, and now we finally got like, hey, you're first in line for this American Bulldog. Cool,
oh
let's go,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
go, let's fucking go. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, dude, plug your stuff. The shows. I know you got the buddies,
Yeah,
right?
Buddies Podcast, Anchor FM, and iTunes. We do stuff on YouTube. We have our full episodes up. Then, if you just want to watch it a week early, we have a Patreon you can subscribe to. It's $4.20, so it's really easy. It's fucking, and then we're gonna start doing a bunch of other stuff on it too. So it's nice. It feels fun. We have Felipe Esparza this Sunday, and then Adam
Nice.
Ray's coming on. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I have a bunch of comics that I really like coming on. So it feels dope to be like, hey, the guy that answered phones for a bunch of years needs you to come on this podcast and get stoned in a mansion. And they're like, all right, cool.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
pretty easy.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, if you haven't seen it already, look for the clips of Roast Battle. You fucking murdered everyone. And Kissing in a Milkshake, right?
Yep.
Is that still up?
Yeah, we still have those up.
Yeah, still up.
Hmm.
Cool, man. And yeah, and just tune into the Comedy Store channel on YouTube too, because there's stuff going on. I mean, you guys appear like, and there's a lot of community that's going on right now with the store that I like. I heard you
Kill
and
Tony's still going.
Tony's still going. They're doing the podcasts out the window now. Like, I know Earl Skakel's doing stuff in the window, and um, also, there's other things happening. That stereo chat you had with Tony was cool, man. That the
Yeah,
app
that
is
was fun.
that's an interesting app. I like the idea that people can chime in and give opinions. So that's there's a lot of content out there. Look for Frank Castillo, Roast
Yeah.
Battle Champion.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you very much, man.
yeah, man. We'll hang out again. I'll see you at the store, and we'll smoke.
Yeah, text me a picture of what dog you get.
Oh yeah, I will. I will.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take
All
care,
right,
dude.
thanks, bro.
Cheers.